I was away this past weekend. That's why there weren't any videos. I was at a steampunk convention in West Virginia, Morgantown. Apparently I'm going to be stumbling over my words today. Oh well, I suppose. You can hear some jack brakes, but there's not a train right now. And the sunset's starting, so I figured I'd get out here. Things are looking good. My nursery pot row has settled in quite nicely. It appears I have a little bit of rodent disturbance there. All considered not much, though. I think it's a little bit sharp on their diggy little paws. Let's see how my, yeah? That's even still green, I'd say that took. This is supposed to be on top of that, but it's not cooperating. And look at how well the columbines are doing. Huh. Yep. My friend adopted her hot pepper plants back. These are root cuttings of the Joe Pye roots. I don't know if they'll take like that or not, but we're gonna find out. I had to sever several of them to get them out of the ground anyway, so that's what those two pots are. I got some more nursery stock seeds in the ground here. And I've been trying to sort out getting these kind all settled in before the season changes. That would be ideal. All of those little pokeweeds are coming up now, which is not great timing, but it's not the worst timing either. Let's see how this raspberry plant is doing now that I've protected it a bit. I think I might actually get to taste them before fall sets in. Come on, focus. There we go. That's doing pretty good. Excellent. There's also quite a few hog nuts, not groundnut, that's a different thing. Quite a few hog nut here. It seems that that's a seed casing still stuck on the leaf. Huh. And I'm hoping that the rest of these will make a comeback too. There's 3 planted, and then several more potted. We mentioned at one point that I had found a little noduled root, and so I do have one thornless raspberry in the gallon size right now. Once they push up out the ground, their roots are too big to get in the smaller pot size. And people are more willing to get in on the smaller size, it turns out. Just, price point wise and all that. If you can get a healthy plant. Ooh, I'm tripping on things. See? I want to plant this with some seeds too. It would appear it's probably going to get a lot of amaranth popping up in it. And I do want to continue getting this to be a raised bed, but I'm not in any big hurry about it, obviously. This is the tomatoes and the kiwis that I missed somehow. The rhubarb here. That's perpetual rhubarb that I can harvest all year. This is almost never rhubarb that I can harvest almost never. It's just a varietal thing. I think that was just a basic seed type that somebody was selling, and I ended up with basically junk. So we'll go down here, get hit a few times with the asparagus fronds, and I'll show you what I put in as soon as I got home, because I'm having damping off problems with the seedlings and cuttings from black locust. These are from the neighborhood up the way. There's a really nice stand of thornless black locusts that are recently cut down and milled. And yeah, this is suburbia, so that's really strange, but who am I to argue? So once they're cut down, they start to send up even more shoots than they usually do. And since I'm not so good at regulating the correct amount of water on new plantings, I figured I'd try an in-ground method and see if that does any better. The root on this sucker is like that big around, but only this long, so I'll be surprised if that takes. The rest of these, the ratio is better. So I need to grab the watering can and water those in a little bit more. Make sure there's not like air pockets against them. But it did pretty much rain all day, so I think it'll be fine. Yeah. A little bit of new growth on the plum in the areas where it's finally just... Oh, look at that. That's not right. Just inside the cage instead of getting nipped off as soon as it's out the top. This is my favorite new sprig. But it's much healthier now. And the cherry has dropped all its leaves and just doesn't care anymore. And this cherry, oh, there's a bunny. I don't like you, bunny. This cherry, I believe, is probably actually dead. It does have dead man's fingers. That's this branching thing in the middle. I'll have to figure out what I'm planting in its stead. Probably can't do just another cherry, because I think it caught a disease. And cherries are like that. But this is a cherry getting newly established that I gotta get down there and grab the cage that was around the elderberry and put it around this cherry, because obviously, even though cherries are usually supposed to be toxic to ruminants, also known as like deer and stuff, deer, horse, cows and crap like that, this one is getting munched to bits, so I don't know what to tell you. See that bunny? Let's go scare the bunny. That didn't take much. Okay. Yeah, still got yard-long beans developing here and there. Not nearly as many, but some. Every time it's like in that in-between space, because they're not too frost tender. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll just walk down here, give you a little tour, and hopefully I'll remember to grab that wire circle on the way back. For some reason this moss keeps falling down, but I'm just gonna push it in and hopefully it'll take. These are fennels. The fennel mother plant is up here, and the seeds are... Could probably harvest those at this point. Fennel seeds are really good. I harvest them regularly, but I don't use enough. What are you? What is that? Is that part of that raspberry? Could be. Yeah. What did I do with it? Oh, yeah, it's just down there. That's a better protected mulberry, is what that is. Better protected than it was before, anyhow. That should help. And then these, believe it or not, I have invasive, but I'm not sad about it, goji berries growing all over this cliffside. And I guess it's just about time for them to be ripe. Those get a little bit more red before... Sorry, it's a little bit hard to walk right here because of the tarp being really uneven underneath and a little bit slick from the rain. Those are all over from about halfway down. I do want to put some wood chips on top of all this, especially since I ended up with so much broken glass. Oh. Yeah, there's one right there. That's one, and that's one of the goji berry. One of the plants that I sometimes grab onto when I'm getting down to the next layer via that tree is there. Did I get to show that last weekend I stacked up a whole bunch more wood debris? I might not have gotten to show that. And that tree that I cut the stump of is, it's starting to wilt. Yeah, the trunk of this, just out of view, roots into the top of the actual cliff. Looks like another one actually fell on its own accord. Huh. But it fell like that way, because I didn't cut that. Then that's a maple. This is that nasty invasive tree that's putting out so many seeds. As is all of that. Those are its seeds. And all of that is why I'm propagating those black locusts. So that hopefully I can get some planted in there and start really stabilizing this hill. I've also got honey locusts that I think I'll plant right here because they'll be really easy to get at, to trim, to, you know, like something like shorter than that height, maybe like here. Because that's actually from the lower level too, and I'm using it to hold up my retainer wall as well. So it's like retrofitting retainer wall material. So, yeah, this project involved finding a lot of bottles that are probably from the 1900s, but they're busted now. Oops. So I'm not an archaeologist, obviously. It's alright, though. Before too long, you'll really be able to see the city from here, because it's right there. And once these leaves start to drop, that'll be really very visible. I think that'll be nice. Alright, there's the river and the highway and the railroad. And there's the industrial park. We'll go back up. I'm so proud of this. So far it seems very stable. I hope it holds as well as it seems like it should, because like literally nothing shifts under my feet at all. It's very comfortable to walk on. Yeah. Oh, there was one other thing that I did tonight. Oh, this has gotten a bit long. Sorry about that. Now that I can just casually go down the hillside, it's doing that a bit easier. One other thing I did tonight is get my little ones into some wood chips here. There's somebody that might want some of these trees in the spring, but probably not now. So since they're potted and comfy, I just sunk them into my wood chip pile so that their roots hopefully won't freeze through quite as easily.